And this computer. Okay, take it away.
Was that me?
Oh, I think you'll just have to reconnect. Can you reconnect? Maybe it went, because it went to sleep.
Thank you. Huh?
You see the wireless
Is that-
connect wireless, so now you could. Yeah. There we go. You're connected. Maybe hit it.
It's frozen out now.
It's in your speakers. It's just make sure we're actually getting just got like on the share button.
You want to try it again?
Yeah, try it
just
one more
to
time.
connect again unless you got frozen.
Nice.
I found where we were,
There we go.
book the other side, to the owner's account.
Perfect.
So we don't have to reschedule the
Okay, we're starting.
Alright, so first of all, I just want to say thank you guys for this opportunity. It's a pleasure for me to be here. My name is Marquise McKenzie, and this is the Dirt Master, and I definitely want to introduce that to you guys. Am I loud enough for that? I can speak a little louder.
Marta, can you confirm if you can hear Mr. McKenzie?
Yeah, perfectly.
Great, thank you.
Alright, so first I'll start off with a quick video. So all you know, the business, if I didn't clean, is not clean, and what it kind of symbolizes, every time I clean, I be at peace, and it was just like, wow, I feel so good when I be clean. You be clean, the dirtiest thing in the world, and it's like, I be just so peaceful cleaning, and what I symbolize is like, as a person, your life can be so messed up, and when you start to clean it, it make you feel good, so it's like, that helped me, like, if I can clean some house, and make me feel like if I can help somebody in the community by helping them clean themselves up, I know how it makes them feel, so it just makes me feel so good, cleaning so good. Whether I'm cleaning a physical thing or if I'm cleaning something mentally, it's a good process. So that video was basically, the purpose is, like you said earlier, it's like a therapy. It gives you an example of why I like cleaning. And my biggest thing is, when you clean something, you feel good. And also when even something physically, you clean your life up, it feels good. So that's the reason why I enjoy cleaning. It's very peaceful for me. That's one of everything when I'm down. I can be at the lowest points of my life, and cleaning is the only thing that keeps me up. So it's not something of business. Sometimes people get in business just for money. And one of the biggest things for me, if I'm going to be a part of it, it has to make me feel good. And I love it, and I have fun with it. So that's the reason why I love cleaning. Second thing is, I'm going to jump into our mission statement. As the Dirt Master, we have an important role in providing our clients with the best cleaning experience ever. Whether we're cleaning at home, office, or construction site once or multiple times, our mission is to clean each home and building as our very own. We have always strived to go above and beyond our clients' greatest expectation, and at least what our slogan is. Remember, if we didn't clean it, it's not clean, right? When I think about our mission statement, I always have to think about, again, business, right? And cleaning business is one of the competitors of business, but what have I found in the cleaning business is that customers love somebody that knows how to do the job. And what I found over the years is that when I go to a client and I provide the service, I never have to negotiate my price, or I never have to worry about underbidding or bidding other people. And that's the best thing about our company. When we provide best service, we never have to worry about our customers going anywhere or somebody coming in with a lower bid to take us away or take that contract. So I showed you that. So I definitely also, when I share my story, I always want to, the reason why I got into cleaning, right? I always like to go back and scale and talk about my story. So I grew up in West Orlando. I grew up with my mom and dad, and I always like to start my story off with saying that because they say if you grow up with both parents in the household, you're supposed to be a perfect child, right? But unfortunately, that wasn't me. At the age of 15, I lost all hope, right? I didn't, I just wanted to drop out of school. I just started doing crazy things, and I landed myself in getting incarcerated. And I didn't know in the state of Florida, depending on the type of charge that you commit, they take you out of the juvenile system and charge you as an adult. So at the age of 15, I found myself tucked out of the juvenile system and charged as an adult and sent to prison at the age of 15. While I was in jail, that's when I discovered my passion for cleaning. And being at my lowest point ever, I never knew how it felt to be feeling so good, and I just never got through it, right? So when I got transferred to the county, from the county jail to the state prison, I was at a youth account, and when you have a lot of kids that's incarcerated, it's just the craziest thing that you can ever think of. So they came, it was like, we're going to take away your rights. You can't watch TV, you can't go to school, you can't get canteen, you can't go to visitation. And the way that we had to earn our rights back, we had to compete by cleaning. And whoever had the cleanest dorms would be the ones who get the rights. So for 6 months straight, my dorm came in first place because of me, and I was the houseman. So I would say, if I'm doing this incarcerated, this is something that I need to think about doing. If I'm pleasing these guards that's coming in with white hand gloves, they're checking everything, I can do this when I get home. So that's the reason why I got into cleaning. But not only that, I also wanted to give back to my community. So once I got incarcerated, I tried to go to school. College really didn't work for me. I just realized college wasn't a thing for me. I started working at KLC, and the crazy thing about it, I became the top cook in the state of Florida out of any KLC cook. But at the time, because of my background and me just coming home, I couldn't pursue that career to actually be a general manager at KLC because I was just too fresh from being out of incarceration. So I just decided to become an entrepreneur because I felt like I needed a little more freedom. And also doing that, by me giving back, I also shared my story across the state with lawmakers going to Tallahassee and advocating that the state of Florida start sending juveniles to adult prison. Now, I do want to make it very clear that I feel that you should be held accountable for your crime if you do anything, but I don't think that kids should be charged as an adult because we just can't operate that. So I do a lot of advocating for across the state. I also the statewide coordinator and the statewide leadership coordinator for Florida Rights Restoration Group. We're the coalition that passed Amendment 4 that helped ex-felons get their voting rights back in the state of Florida. So I do a lot of advocacy work, and that's what I see there on that picture there. So the next picture is my team, right? And definitely, you have me, you have my fiance, she's a part owner. She couldn't be here today because we had an obligation of a cleaning contract that we do, so she had to go step in and take care of that for us. Then you have our oldest son, this is the helper 1, helper 2, which is our daughter, and helper 3 is our youngest son as well. So it's our family. They go to different jobs with us when we do cleaning. So you look at it, it's a business that we're trying to go for longevity and not just for now, but that could be a long term. And one of our ultimate goals is actually to open be a corporation. So when families want to get into the cleaning business, we have a model that's successful for them that they can follow behind as well. So that's my team as of now. So then we talk about some of the milestones and goals that we had set for the year. As of August, we want to obtain our minority certifications. And the reason why we want to do that, one of my biggest opportunities is last year, I had the opportunity to be the project manager to oversee all of the cleaners at the new UCF on Paramore. So I basically cleaned that whole building and monitored that. So, and I realized the only thing that was stopping me from being able to get that contract myself is that I didn't have my minority certifications. And so that's one of the things that we want to attain so we can start bidding and getting these larger jobs and scaling those things. And trademark the logo. So that's something we definitely want to get done because our logo is not trademarked just yet, but everywhere we go, people just die over the logos. Like, let me get the trademark.
That's the first thing you said, right?
Yeah.
So we definitely have to get that trademark as well. In September, we want to obtain office space. And the reason why we want to obtain office space is because right now our home is a home office. And when I come home, I got cleaning stuff here, got that. I just want my home to be home. I want to be able to store stuff, not at home. And when I leave from work that day, I just want to go home and be peace. And another thing with attending the office, I just got turned down from Orange County to receive a grant for them just because I didn't have an actual physical location. So that's one of the things that having a physical location can also open up other opportunities for you. And then we want to hire a field representative by September, because I'm just one person. And if I'm cleaning it and I'm trying to work, it's just stuff can't get happen. So I want to be able to have somebody that can go out and meet different project managers, different contractors, and talk to them on behalf of the company and be able to help us expand that company as well. Moving into October, we definitely want to try to get new equipment. We know with COVID-19, the cleaning world is unfortunately to be there because everything needs cleaning, but also the equipment is completely changed when it comes down to PPE gear, different things, sanitizing equipment, everything is completely changed. So we do want to upgrade our equipment, also and fully stock on supplies. By November, we want to be able to have everything completed, also secure our first construction cleaning contract as the main contractor and not a subcontractor. So that's one of the things that we want to do by November. And by December, we want to be able to hire 10 members to the team that can help fulfill with that contract. Being that a lot of the work that I do in the community around incarcerated people, I have access to a big field. Me being incarcerated myself, and one of the reasons why we want to take the company to construction cleaning is that I found that the construction field is very acceptable to people that's coming out of incarceration. And I also look at it as a liability. I don't want to continue to do in-house cleaning when people are staring at it, because sometimes it could be a risk, and I realize that. But if I put them on, it gives them an opportunity to put them on a construction site, it's nothing that I can really risk about, nothing of doing as well. So that's something that we definitely want to do. And when I had the UCF contract, or when I was the subcontractor there, all of the guys that I had work with me came from the Work Release Center. So that was something that was big to see somebody that was in there before as actually giving them an opportunity. And, all of them passed the background check from that we had to go through for UCF with their record. And I was like, you know what, I just want to take the business and put it straight towards construction cleaning, so I can give you guys the opportunity to give them a second chance. Yeah, this is the last thing. Just one of my favorite sayings is I always wake up every day and I just say I'm blessed, and that's the picture of me at UCF cleaning as the project manager. So, and with that being said, I know that we're kind of fast, so we definitely can.
No, that's fine. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shut, you're done with the screen?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna shut this off because I think it helps with the,
Yeah.
so now we can see you.
Much better.
So guys, you can see, so, fantastic presentation. We'll go through the panelists and see what questions we have. Carolyn, do you want to start?
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, I agree, great presentation. I apologize, I may have missed you talking about this because I had a distraction going on here, but your marketing strategy, how you get the word out to potential customers,
Okay.
and you're building your customer base?
So right now it's marketing. All of my marketing came from me, just from my community of people seeing where I came from. And it seemed like I was one of the youngest person on the west side of Orlando, because it's definitely an African-American community, and not so many people are my age or even thinking business-wise. So when I started off and they just seen the way, and I just went to branding like crazy, it's almost to the point where if you mention anything about cleaning, even the Black Business Orlando page, I'm the first person, almost every person that they're tagging. So I haven't even really did a excessive or strong marketing push. It's just it's a word of mouth is what got me a lot of my opportunities that I have now.
Okay, so is that something you're, a marketing plan or strategy if you want to scale this business? Is that something you're needing help with? I mean, you got marketeer extraordinaire Stephanie sitting right there. I'm sure she can give you some detail.
That's definitely, and I probably didn't touch on it too much, but when we wanted to have a field, we wanted to hire a field representative, we also want that person to be able to help out with marketing as well.
Absolutely.
We definitely market it, help us out as well.
Thank you, Stephanie. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Marted, do you have any questions or comments?
Sure, quick question. First of all, I'm going to show my face because I'm very impressed with your story and inspirational. And I just want to congratulate you to get to know you and to know that you are where you are today.
Thank you.
I just need to refresh my memory because I was looking on the papers and I'm doing papers. I cannot recall your specific request for this award.
So was it the funding? So when I put in a request, and I put a large number, just thinking you put a large number, maybe you can scale down. But you know, if you're looking at the paper, the request was for 75,000 over the course of 3 years, and it breaks down the marketing, being able to get new equipment, as far as a new business card. I did have a business card before we lost it just poor decisions, but being to be able to have a new business card. Within that budget as well, being able to give us an office space. So on that paper for office space, supplies, being able to hire somebody, and the biggest part in marketing as well.
And about the certifications, will you need support also to get all those certifications, and which specific certifications are you looking for?
So to be honest with you, the certification is just far as filling out an application. Definitely having somebody be able to look over that before we submit it. The only thing just stopping me right now is because they ask for the tax transcripts when you're doing the certifications, and the IRS is completely shut down, and my stuff is in queue. So when I went to ask for that earlier this year, it was in a process, and then when the IRS got shut down, I'm still waiting for that information. So it's just as simple as just filing that information and sending it off. I definitely want to get the certification for the city and the county of Orlando. And also for the state as well, to be able to bid on statewide contracts as well.
Oh, but that's to provide service to them, right?
Yep.
And what about any certification for COVID-19?
So with that, when I went to OSHA and the CDC, there are not really too many different certifications. But one thing that I have a good relationship with Gem Supply that offer different levels of certification that you do with master cleaning. And being able to go to one of the CDC certification classes is what we're waiting for. OSHA just haven't put out anything yet because of just so much stuff is going on.
Okay, I'm done with questions. Thank you so much. I return the microphone to Steph.
Thanks, Marta. Since we're talking about numbers, can I maybe then just
Sure.
a few more things?
Yeah, Maribel's going to interject next.
No, just going along Marta's questions as well. Where are you right now, customer-wise, revenue-wise, cost-wise? Just to have an idea.
So we have about ongoing, I probably say about maybe 30 customers a month that comes and goes. But I completely stopped everything because I want to focus on construction cleaning. I said I'm tired of
So you're not operating.
Right. So I do take my customers that call because I don't want business because but at the moment we're just focused on straight construction cleaning and building out our brand in that way. New vacant properties, talking with new realtors when people come in. So I still take those clients, but in-house cleaning when people are still living there just because of COVID-19 and just the way that I'm going, it will slow me down. We just completely stopped. So we're just working on getting the certifications and getting everything. The reason why I'm doing that is because I have so much leverage in the community. It's to the point where they call me the mayor of Orlando, and they want me to run for office. And it's like I'm in the rooms at these tables with the big wigs and commissioners. So I have opportunity to get there. I just have to have my stuff right on my end. So that's what's like. If I keep working, then I will never have time just to stop and stuff. So I was like, this year I didn't want too many new customers at all.
Have you officially formed a corporation, or you're still operating as
As an LLC.
Oh, you have
Yeah,
you're
we're
operating as
an
an
LLC. We're registered on some bids. We've been registered for about the last 5 years. We started off as a sole proprietor. It was just something me listening to somebody that was telling me the wrong stuff. And then in 2018, we changed the business over to an LLC.
And I know you mentioned you will live on the west side of town. How do you see yourself maybe incorporating more into the east side of town and overall Avalon Park?
Well, I mean, so I've traveled as far as Georgia to take on jobs, so I don't think that's an issue. If the job is needed or if the demand is there, it's just simply just switching over. I want to be able to have an office in certain different areas all over wherever I go, have an office or field office. So that's one of the things when we talk about the corporation. When we open the corporation, we want to be able to have different franchisees. So it's like you're strictly to this area versus having somebody go all over. We want to be able to say, hey, you take care of everything in Avalon, I take care of everything on the west side and stuff like that as well. So being able to move around is definitely not an issue. Like I said, if it's a demand, I'll go to New York if I had to.
But in order for you to get to that step, then you need people that you trust and you can,
Right.
of course, transition or, that knowledge and commitment that you have, which is definitely.
And I have, even my family, I have a big, strong, that's the reason why I'm here today. I have a big family support. Even my dad wanted to start a cleaning business, and he just never been able to do it because he just had to take care of me and all of my other siblings. So even just my family that I know for a fact that can trust me, they're ready. They're ready to leave their jobs at any given time to follow my vision because they see how big it is, how much I really treat it. They definitely want to be around. And my family have a history of working for people that have cleaning business. And nothing is wrong with that, but if I can, help them and put them in a different position, I definitely do that. And they're the first ones that I'll hire because I know I can trust them without problem.
Yes, thank you.
So let's go to Singapore now. Ravi, maybe he has a building in Singapore. You can go to.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, Marky, it would be great if you could come over to Singapore as well. So, Marky, amazing story, very inspirational, and I could definitely feel your passion 10,000 miles away here in Singapore. You did a great job. I just have one question, and it's about your pricing strategy. I know you mentioned that nobody has contested on your pricing and all, but could you explain a bit more about how you price your services and how does it compare to other cleaning services in the area, maybe in Florida?
Right. So what I did, and I struggled with pricing for a very long time, right? And for a while, I was cutting myself short until I had a conversation. And what I think is very important is you have to have friends that's doing the same business as you. Everybody that's in the same field you is not competitors. And then once I learned that and I started sitting at tables with other people that had cleaning companies, I realized that I was cutting myself short with the work that I was providing. So the very first thing with pricing, I always, and it's one of our very important rules, we have to view a job before we even go to it, right? So that's very important that we look at the job. We're not giving prices over the phone. Even sometimes I've lost customers because I won't give them a price over the phone. So that's the first thing. I have to see what we're getting ourselves into. And I never, once they see my portfolio, even most of the customers, when they get referred through word of mouth, that just seals the job itself. So they'll never ask about pricing. They say, if somebody else referred you and I'm very trustworthy with this person, I don't even care what the price. I'm looking at your portfolio or work. I know that you can get the job done. So it's just simple as that. And I just go in there confident, if I know what I'm doing, I know exactly what needs to be done, and I provided with that. And that confidence makes me never have to worry about anybody coming under me or doing anything different. So that's how the pricing works for me. Just the referrals. Every referral I got, I never had anybody say go down cheaper or anything. And I think it's just, let's say people look at the stuff that we do, even with our cleaning services. One of the things that we do, one of my ways of giving back, we offer free cleaning service for disabled citizens and veterans once a month. It's because we know that they can't clean at all. And that was something that I use as a marketing strategy as well. When they see that, it's like nobody, So that's something that we help with pricing, and it just helps us be very creative as well, if that answers the question.
That's very smart. That's very smart. Thank you. Thank you, Marky.
Thank you. Alan.
Yeah, thanks. Great presentation and story. My question is around, is there a potential for specific niches? I know you mentioned the construction space. What are you thinking about in other areas based on looking at competition and things like that, where you could fit and then really have a niche in the business where maybe there's some holes right now that are not getting filled very well? Yeah, that's what I got.
Right, so
Thanks.
great question. So the way that so much trust that I've built in the community, anything that has to do with cleaning, if I attach my name to it, I can just humbly say I can swipe out all of my competition out the way. So with that, if you see the logo, so one of my plans was the Dirt Master carpet cleaning, the Dirt Master construction cleaning, the Dirt Master pressure washing, anything with cleaning, and we can definitely do it. And the logo is simply changed. I have a brother that actually came out of incarceration, and I helped him out. He has the Dirt Master pressure washer, and the logo simply changed to whatever that field is. So the carpet cleaning is one of the next things that I get so many carpet cleaning jobs that I turn them away because I just don't offer carpet cleaning. So I know if I jump into that field, it opens up the door. But that interesting question brings you to the point. I jumped with the CDC guidelines. I was like, what can I do right now to help my community? I know it's a risk of going in and cleaning people's homes. So one of the things that I thought of, and I thank God for that vision, was a cleaning product. I went to Gym Supply, and they had a product that it was selling in big gallons. And I was like, what is this product? It's like, it's a product that's from CDC. I was like, can I rebrand this product and can I sell it? And it was like, so I reached out to the distributors of the company, and it was like, well, you have to buy a crazy buttload for us to do private label, but you still can sell it, as a wholesale. I took that product and I pushed it and I sold 200 units in 1 week. And people are still asking me for that product as well. So that just getting in that product, getting in that field alone, the cleaning product alone, it definitely a lot of people is needed with that. And this product is something that you can use on hard surfaces. You can use it on any type of surface. It's a mint. It's not like a harsh chemical smell. And the reviews I got from it is crazy. And it's the crazy thing about that. So I spoke at Tennessee State University and shared my story, and I talked about my business. And I came across the individual that invested into a documentary that I was in. And he just called me maybe 2 weeks ago, and he asked me, what can I do to help your business? Because a lot of stuff I do in the community, he was talking about, like, we could talk political, right? But he was saying, what's going on in the world right now, if you're asking people to vote and they can't even pay their bills, they're not going to care about voting. He said, but if we can give them a job right now, and then we talk to them later about stuff can happen. This guy, he owns about 20 facilities, rehab facilities across the world. And he has a good population of friends that own hospitals. And so instead of me taking something from him as far as, because he was like, whatever you need financially, one of my goals is to ask him to get the cleaning product into all of their facilities. So when you talk about other niches, the carpet cleaning, cleaning products, anything with cleaning, I think I can get in that niche and touch it. It's just me being able to have the resources to go there well.
A great answer. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kirby, are you there? He may have dropped off. He did say he had another meeting that he had to go to. So
8:30 in the morning.
yeah. So we'll make sure for the panelists that aren't here, we'll get to watch your video, we'll submit questions, and then we'll get them back to you. Do you guys have anything else you want to ask?
No, I mean, very inspirational, thank you very much. I think a true Orlando story of somebody who, went a little bit the wrong way first and turned around. And this is a great story, so thank you.
Thanks for sharing. And we have some construction properties, just a few.
And even with that, and I think talking a part of my story, big give back. I go every Monday, COVID-19 has stopped us, but when you look at the significance of it, the trust that I built in the community. I now walk around the jail with a green badge, meaning that I can walk through the jail by myself. So every Monday I go into there with the juveniles and I teach them entrepreneurship because I know that they're going to go to prison because we just live in a harsh state. That's part of crime. But I teach them a plan, and I teach all of them how to start a business, how to write a business plan, and all of that nature. So when they come home, they have something because I know it's going to be hard with a background. So I do that every Monday. Last week or two, we went into the juvenile because I have a connection in there as well. We went to the juvenile center. And we painted all of the juvenile doors, and we wrote positive quotes on the back of those doors. And then also, just maybe 2 weeks ago, I was nominated as one of 15 individuals throughout the whole Central Florida, the top 15 influential males in Central Florida, and I was one of those males out of 15. So I know the spotlight is on me, and so that's why I'm just like.
So you're running for county commissioner when?
So if you answer that question, I want to run for mayor.
Mayor for Orlando or Orange County?
Yeah.
Orlando or Orange County?
Mayor, I don't want Orange County. I want to go against Buddy. Nothing personal against Buddy. I've been in various rooms with them, but I just think humbly I have that much of an impact that if you put me against anybody, I think they call me the governor, they call me the mayor, so that's just the type of stuff that I do for the community.
I think what you're doing is really amazing, right? I mean, everybody has a story, and a lot of people have challenges, and there's just so many of them littered with that's where the story ends,
right.
And for somebody like you, that's really where the story begins, and to see you taking that and paying it forward too for other people, you know what I mean? Right. So, look, a lot of times what separates some people from other people is just luck. It's just, who knows, right? But,
right.
You're saying to these kids, look, well, yeah, you messed up. Maybe, who knows, the deck was stacked against you, whatever it was, right? But you can own your own business. You can, you can take this and move it forward. And so I think there's just, what you're doing could be a means to an end just from a business perspective, right? And there's all those pieces that are there too. But then, you know, you could have all these different components to your business, but then you can have nonprofit pieces to your business and use your business to fund other outreach opportunities and things. I mean, I think the sky's the limit. For somebody like you.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, and I didn't mention this because I have a million things going on in my life. But I do have a nonprofit, right? And that's one of the things that everything that comes from my nonprofit, it comes from my business. So my nonprofit has been a 501c3 since 2018. It's called Community Outreach Enterprise, and basically it's geared towards teaching entrepreneurship to at-risk youth, and also to homeless individuals, right? So when you think about homeless individuals, and I do a lot of work with homeless, like Tom just said, last year we did a Super Bowl. We got a big inflatable TV right there in the middle of downtown Paramount where all the homeless people at, and we showed the Super Bowl live for them, something that never been, like when you think about when do the homeless never get to watch TV, right? Also every year in December, we have a nonprofit do a sweater and socks event. One of the things when you think about Christmas, you look at the stuff, a lot of people cater to kids. And I was like, what about the homeless population? Have anybody ever gave them a gift? And I wish I would have uploaded, but I can show you guys plenty of pictures. So what we do is we get about 500 to 1,000 socks and sweaters, brand new. I put them in gift bags. We wrap up the whole part, make it look like Christmas, and we give the homeless people sweaters, socks, health screenings, chapsticks, and everything. We've been doing that for the last 3 years. Back to school events, we do that every year. But one of my biggest things that I want to do with homeless people is if we're really going to help them, we have to just stop feeding them. And I think a financial way we're going to be able to do that. And the way that I came up to do that, and I was scared to give my ideas to our politicians because I just feel like they're just selfish and they're not going to do the right thing with it. So I hold on to them. So what I realized, if you look at every homeless throughout the state right now, growing up in my area, I'm pretty sure in you guys' area as well, we had to buy our own trash cans. We never had to, you know what I'm saying? So we had to clean them because it was in the house. But now every home has a city and a county trash can. And I can bet you any type of money you've never seen anybody cleaning those trash cans. So I put a proposal together that I feel that if we pitch it good enough that we can clean those trash cans every time the trash route, it can help with the environment, also make sure that those trash cans, but those can be jobs that I can give to homeless individuals on a weekly basis. They go out and they'll clean those trash cans within the neighborhoods.
So you're the Ben Carson of Orlando, right?
Yeah.
You know Ben Carson?
Yeah, I know Ben Carson. I bet Ben Carson through, I bet him through Crave, and he came down. We had different leaders come out and sit down. So I love Credo Coffee. He does a lot.
Very similar story.
Yeah.
So just different fields.
Just because I'm curious, what's the Crave program?
So Crave program, if I'm selling it right, I hope Michelle don't kill me. So what it is from what I got of it, it was a bunch of people that was white, and they realized that they're privileged, but they want to connect to the African American community to bring their privileged resources to ours to get the same mission accomplished. So they was able to bridge the gap because how I feel with everything that's going on in the world with injustice, I just never been a person that scrolls just say Black Lives Matter. Even though I get my head chewed off every time I say that, I think all lives matter, right? And I don't look at color when I look at people. I look at their hearts and their mind. And Crave was able to build and bridge us with it's like diversity. It was being able to bring us to tables that we would never be at just for the fact that I'm an African American and they're white individuals. And not only that, they really had hearts for people that was doing stuff in the community. So they take us through these spiritual formations and it just help us grow. And for me, what I got out of the most, because I just be running crazy every day out of the week, I was able to just stop and think about what I'm doing, where I'm trying to go, and how to connect those pieces. So that's what Crave was, and I just loved it. I never got around a whole bunch of people. You have people from the LGBT community, just never been at those different tables, and we would never sit at those tables because we were never invited to it. So it was just definitely a great experience.
Is that a city program? Is that a faith-based program?
No,
what is that?
It's I would say it's a little bit of faith-based. They have a faith-based twist. Because everybody's just open, but it's a non-profit program that just needs to be able to stop it. They're from the United Methodist Church, where they all go there, and they just decided that we want to connect with the African American community because we know we have access to resources, and we want to accomplish some of the same thing that they're doing, but we can't get that message across just because it's skin color, right? So it's like, how can we bridge that gap? And like I said, I think about going through the program again, but it was a very fun experience with Crave.
You know, I'm very often in Europe, and when I grew up in Europe, the U.S. was kind of like the dreamland, and where everything and anything is possible. So those days, medias and all kind of things, people would talk to me, you know, I mean, for more than a quarter century now in the U.S., say, hey, look, I mean, I think the American dream doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
And I would always say, I disagree, you know, and then the answer would often be, well, it's easy for you, you're successful, you're white, you are, etc. How would you react to that if somebody would tell you, I think the American dream doesn't exist anymore? Do you?
So for me, the American dream still exists, right?
Yeah.
I think so I live off a quote with Zig Ziglar, right? And he said you can have anything you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. And I've been doing that even ever since I was incarcerated, and it's true. So it all depends on the individual. You know, I found myself going to Atlanta maybe about 4 years ago, just thinking, oh, all black people are successful in Atlanta. And I wasn't even, you know, ready to have my stuff together. When I got there, I found myself in the same situation and I was back home. And I said, I should have been back home. What I found out is that when you have your stuff together, it just gets you, you know what I'm saying, it gets you a better opportunity than everybody. So it's like, let me just focus down, let me get myself together. And when I go to these tables, I can come in there, you know what I'm saying, and live that dream. Yeah, it takes time, but, you know, nothing happens overnight. But I think the American dream is alive. It's just how bad that you want it.
I mean, that's powerful testimony, you know, so people have to hear that, you know, so,
I have one more question. It seems you have a lot of connections and other groups that want to help you as well. If you were to choose one main thing that you would want us to help you with, what would that be?
The biggest thing for me, because I just feel like I'm in this field, you know what I'm saying, being able to provide the work that I do, the money is going to come, right? But it's just connections. It's one of the biggest things, right?
I mean, you're the last presenter today. We had a presentation only yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I often really realize at the end. It's not the money. I mean, people, you know, I mean, I think because look, there's capital intense business. If you want to build this building, you can't do it without money. I mean,
Right.
you know, you want to build, you know, but I mean, you're in the service business. Yes, there's some, you know, basic, you know, tools which you need, but you have that already. And maybe there is a little bridge loan, etc. But at the end, you need a sound business plan. You need a broad marketing strategy. You need the connection. You need the, you know, yeah. I mean,
I've had, and to that question, I've had people, and I wouldn't say there wasn't right people, right? I have people that know anything about the cleaning business, but they're smart enough that the cleaning business is a big business. Back in 2018, the cleaning industry itself brought in $58 billion. So I know it wasn't million, it was $1 billion that the cleaning industry. So you know that it's a mix there, right? And a guy,
but it's obviously very fragmented, you know.
Right,
you know, it's kind of like, therefore, I mean, Alan made a good point, you know, trying to find a niche.
Right.
So that, you know, because it's kind of like, I mean, we were once in the landscape business. I mean, as a company many years ago, 15, 20 years ago. It was a fun, Stephanie was already here. It was a fun experience, but what we realized was it was very difficult to compete.
Right.
Because, you know, we obviously, you know, paid salaries, Social Security, everything, taxes. Well, I mean, anybody who bought a lawnmower, you know, just, you know, undercut us.
Right.
And so we realized, what we always have to realize in businesses which have a low barrier of entry, there's a lot of competition.
Definitely.
So now the strategy has to be to find a niche, you know, and it's generally go to the next level, and you are already doing that.
Right.
But you're saying I'm doing construction cleaning, which cuts probably already out 90% of the other cleaners in the nation. So now you are already in a niche, and I think that was good advice from Alan. Find your niche.
Because I've done restaurant cleaning, I did office cleanings, and it's like the most that I really enjoy is the construction cleaning because I don't have to clean behind anybody. Sometimes people, even doing office cleaning, people are just like. So we had a contract with. So I had a contract with what is this? It's a chiropractor office, Sterling. And when I went in there, they was like, man, we've been through thousands of cleaners. So I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to come in and go out as well if you guys been through thousands of cleaners. And what you find is that sometimes the employees, if they don't know exactly what you're supposed to clean and when you're cleaning it, you know, the smallest little thing, they would say, oh, you didn't do your job right. And it's just, so I was like, you know, I have fun with construction cleaning. I go in there, I speak to the project manager who's over the project, what floor we're taking care of, we're doing this, it's all good with that. And we're out of there, you know, nobody's in our way, we don't have to worry about anything. But back to what I was saying, I had somebody ask me, do I need an investor? Like, do you want me to invest? And I was like, no, I don't need an investor. I don't need money in the cleaning field. I need a connection. You know, I need to be able to speak to contractors because, you know, what's that? You know, your money can't buy me anything because, you know, cleaning field is one of the less expensive stuff. Cleaning supplies is very cheap. So, you know, you don't need anything but just being able to speak to those contractors and get on those jobs. And the very few people that I have spoke to, like that was doing house contractors, they were just saying, man, it's hard finding a good cleaner. Or even when I sat down with the city of Orlando and we was talking about minority certifications, it was like, you know, a lot of people complain, oh, you know, they say, oh, the Hispanics get all the jobs. And the lady was like, it's simple because the Hispanics, you know, they get their minority certifications and they're the only ones that have them. And so we have no choice but to give the jobs. But if you come in here with your minority certifications, you have an opportunity. So a lot of people in my community, even people that starts cleaning business, they're still like on that small, not saying that there's like to belittle them, but they're not thinking outside of their horizons. And so they're finding themselves competing with everybody that's on the ground. But it's like you take it up a notch. You know, I'm only competing with maybe 2 or 3 people versus competing with 100 people down there. So it's definitely like you have Molly Mae. I have customers that had Molly Mae just said, man, you clean way more than Molly Mae. But I'm not into doing maid service anymore. So it's like, no, let me just do something else. But
So but why do you want to go to politics? You know, why don't you want to be an entrepreneur? So
the crazy thing about it, you know, with my current position, and so I work with Florida Rights Restoration Coalition, and I'm the statewide coordinator, leadership coordinator. And sometimes I find myself as like, I don't really care to be in politics because one of my great mentors said, before you get in politics, have your own money. So I was like, if I can build my business, then when I come in, then I can pick my own campaign. I don't even need to hear nothing nobody is talking about because I can get in here and get it done, without your money. But for me, being in politics, growing up, I've learned that politics was bad. And as I got older, I was able to think for myself. It was like, hold on, politics is not bad. We need the politics. It's the people in politics and the positions. What I've learned about politics, and even what you can learn now from this COVID-19 situation, you can be able to identify a politician from a public servant. When a politician get involved, people's lives are being cost, they're dying. But a public servant is somebody that's been able to come back and talk to us and figure out what can we do this stuff together. So I want to be a public servant of my community. I know what's right. I know what needs to be done. It's just simple. I think God bless me.
Do first another 10 years as an entrepreneur, So make an impact as an entrepreneur,
Right.
Teach other people, that the American dream is here,
Yep.
What's your story? I think that's the most powerful which you can do. As soon as you're there, you have so many, it's kind of like, people think those politicians are powerful.
They're not.
Yes, well, they're not really. I mean, I think all those commissioners they got frustrated and there are all the people calling them because they have their garbage isn't picked up, their drainage isn't working day and night, So I think as an entrepreneur, you can actually move much more than as a politician. A politician, you're kind of like in a system, and then you have to please and do it also. I think what we all did here, we built a town, so from scratch, and it wasn't easy, and there were challenges, etc. We can look back now, want to build more, have another one, and advice would be remain an entrepreneur. Stay connected. We would love to be connected with you because what's interesting for us too. You're different than we are in the sense you're on the east side, you're on the west side. You have different, relationships, and I think that's what I always like. I think if you could see anything here, have people on the phone, from Asia, from Singapore, from Kirby was there from Australia. That's kind of like what I always like the most about my business, about our business. We're around the world, Look at this floor. Everybody has a totally different background. Switzerland, Puerto Rico, Midwest, Kansas City, native Floridian, and it goes on and on. There's and I think that's kind of like what we have to cultivate. That's what America is.
And one of the things I have conversation with my kids. They model everything I do. They look me up on YouTube. You get on Google, they find stories about me. I didn't even know that the story was out. But I was featured in a Switzerland story. I made a Switzerland news about my story.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
I made
Can you send it to us?
I send it to Stephanie. But that's one of my biggest models, man. If I'm gonna get into a business, service got to be able to be service worldwide, not just locally in his state. When I think about business, I think worldwide, and that's what I want to do with the cleaning business, take it worldwide.
No, I mean, I think the point, I think I want to do business or want to be associated with anybody who says the American dream is alive.
Right.
So because, that's a tough road,
Yeah.
in Europe or in Asia. When you read all those newspapers, and look, I said it before, the press. The press can be a blessing sometimes,
Right.
can help you probably, can transport, but it can be a big problem.
Yeah.
When that killing was at Wendy's in Atlanta,
Yeah.
I was with my kids in Atlanta.
Wow.
I was in the midst of the riots, but the riots weren't really the riots, so
Right.
there were some people, I think, I always think, I don't want to play it down,
Right.
but I don't think it's as near as bad as the press makes it. So
Right, definitely.
COVID-19 is something bad all over the world, and
Yeah.
fortunately, rich or poor, black or white, yellow or red, it doesn't matter. You get COVID-19, that's,
Yeah.
But what I'm reading in Europe, that America is gone, America is done, capitalism, etc. I don't think it's just because, granted, I'm privileged. I say, talking to somebody like you, and we're talking with a lot of people from all over the spectrum.
Right.
I think this is kind of like the cool thing if you are in the town development, building, towns, you get in touch with anybody and then say what happens in this town, and I still think, the American dream is very vivid, it's very alive.
Yeah.
So let's work together. So thank you for your presentation.
Great
Appreciate
presentation.
it.
Thank
Have a
you
great
so
evening.
much.
We enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'll make sure I send Stephanie that Switzerland paper.
Hey, so last comment,
Oh, Alan
Marquise.
has to comment.
Alan, yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, so I could listen to you talk all day, no question. Awesome. And I think your smile is infectious, and we got to figure out a way to clone you. Okay, that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks all.
Thank you, Marquise.
Thank you.
It was a great way to end the day.
Yeah,
So
that's
thank
very
you,
good.
everyone. Thank you.
My day is still going. I have so much stuff.
And you brought the sunlight. We had a terrible storm a few hours ago, so you brought the sunlight.
Have you ever been here on this side of town, or?
Huh?
Have you ever been here on this
Yeah,
side?
I clean properties in this. Ain't
Oh,
And
nothing
the
here.
thing that
Yeah.
referral that Stephanie read at the beginning, he was from another
Oh.
part.
Okay, I was going
Yeah.
there.
And I'm gonna show you while I'm just sitting here. I can show you if it's okay.
Yeah.
The white group.
We do.
That's our bread and butter.
We got some